Thank you to tune in to Rony TV podcast, local news and international news. The Santa Ana Unified School District has approved layoffs affecting nearly 300 positions, including teachers and counselors, as part of budgetary adjustments. Federal charges for illegal re-entry. Federal prosecutors in Los Angeles and Riverside have charged individuals who allegedly re-entered the United States illegally after prior deportations. Santa Ana has been selected as the only city in California to receive the America Connects Heart and Home National Mural Mosaic. The installation was unveiled on February 19th at the Jerome Recreation Center. We continue. President Trump has announced that 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian imports will commence on this week. The Vatican reports that Pope Francis has suffered 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure, raising concerns about his health. Arab foreign ministers are collaborating on a post-war plan for Gaza amid escalating regional tensions. Israel has halted all food and supply entries into Gaza. President Donald Trump had his U.S. presidential state car take laps around the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, in advance of the annual Daytona 500 NASCAR Cup race. The presidential car, nicknamed the Beast, took Trump around the speedway after he and his entourage arrived on Air Force One. Trump attended the event, considered the most prestigious on the NASCAR circuit during his first term in 2020. Trump has made being a sports fan, especially mixed martial arts and other combat sport, a cornerstone of his political persona. In other news, with Trump extended family Lara Trump, the daughter-in-law of the president, will host a new show on Fox News, the network announced, in a further sign of the fluidity between the right-wing news channel and the Trump administration. We are wishing her good luck on her new show. In other news, Kim Se-ron, a promising young South Korean actress, has died. She was 24, born in 2000 in Seoul. Kim began her career as a child actress, reportedly becoming one of the youngest performers to be invited to Cannes for her role in A Brand New Life. To continue, 5 candidates remain in the race to replace Trudeau. In addition to Carney and Freeland, who served as both finance minister and deputy prime minister, they include Karina Gould, former House leader, former Liberal MP Frank Baylis, and Ruby Dalla, also a former Liberal MP. All 5 candidates must pay a final installment of $125,000 to stay in the race and participate in the English and French debates, which are scheduled to take place in Montreal. In other news, in Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky touched down in the United Arab Emirates for an official visit ahead of planned talks between U.S. and Russian officials expected to take place in Saudi Arabia. The UAE has been an important mediator between Kyiv and Moscow throughout the conflict, ahead of an expected meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Zelensky posted a video of him getting off the plane and holding talks with officials. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sounded steadfast about his country's place in any plans to end its war with Russia during an in-depth interview. Amid reports that America's top diplomats are soon set to meet with Russian representatives to try and broker a peace deal, Zelensky mentioned Ukraine must have a seat at the table. We continue in sport. Gervonta Davis said that hair product running into his eyes caused him to voluntarily take a knee during his controversial WBA lightweight title retention against Lamont Roach Jr. The fight at Barclays Center in New York ended as a majority draw, with one judge scoring the contest 115-113 in Davis's favor and the other 2 scoring it 114-114. In basketball, Curry led the way for the Warriors with 29 points and 13 assists. But In the absence of Jimmy Butler, his team fell to a 119 to 126 defeat against the 76ers, snapping their 5-game win streak. We continue in sport. As a transgender athlete, Cisse Telfer is used to fighting for acceptance both on the sports field and in her day-to-day life. That battle, she says, has become even more challenging in the weeks since President Donald Trump's inauguration. Stay tuned to Rony TV podcast.
Thank you, people, for tuning in to Rony TV podcast. I'm your host, Don604. Yes, it's a recap of the news. Thank you again for those of you who listen to me and to your smartphone, your smart TV. Hey, I'm the real McCoy. So let's get into it right now. It's almost the end of Black History, but I will say also it's almost the end of white slavery, white history too, because we're always saying Black History to focus on the enslavement of black people. There were white people were being enslaved too. There was white slavery, you know. So I was digging and did some research. So they say the phrase white slavery was used by Charles Sumner, Sumner in 1847. So that guy was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who represent Massachusetts. So yeah, so that's why you said he was also, he wanted to abolish slavery too. So most likely, yes, there were white slaves. So the white slave trade also there's known, they're saying there was like Viking was also enslaving white people too, and they were also saying the how you call that again, the Arabic people They were enslaving whites. They call it sakariba. So it's you know they all slave European and slave into Muslim nation like Spain and and also those who were abducted from the raid of Christian kingdom or Spain. They said the French started buying slaves from the slave, and while Muslim also came across slaves in the form of missionaries, and the Byzantine Empire. So yeah, they were white slaves. So and also, the Muslims were buying white people too. And I have there was a book also. This white cargo. So this in the seventh and eighth century, more than 300 white people were shipped to America as a slave. So this urchin were swooped up from London Street to labor the tobacco field. And they said the life expectancy were no more than 2 years. So they said they raided the whole house, the brothel, so to breed for breeder for Virginia. Well, I don't know. Virginia was you know uh, brothel people, but I'm saying they're good people, I guess. But hey, who will thought that? You gotta read. It was white slaves, so now I want to have a white day. You know, White History Day, and then a Black History Day also to remind them they were slaves, white slaves. So they're saying the signing into a servant. So they say also they were unaware that they would become personal property and it could be sold and even gambled away. The white people never knew that. So yeah. So this is really like something new to learn. White slave exists and they still, I guess they have their family, you know, to generation. So they said this saga of exploration of cruelty spanning from 170 years, 170 years, but some people said it's 250 years. So, and roughly they say 1,250,000 white slaves. So yeah, there is, there were white slaves. I once wondered that, what I'm saying. So they say also they have archives, uh, government archives. So this Don Jordan and Michael Walsh demonstrate that the brutality usually associated with black slavery alone were perpetrated on white through our British rules. The trade ended with American independence, but the British still tried to sell convicts in their former colony, which prompted one of the most audacious plots in Anglo-American history. Yeah, is that something? Is that something? The white cargo. Read that book. It's on Amazon. The Forgetting History of Britain White Slave in America. White cargo. The Forgetting History of Britain White Slave in America. Is that something? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, black people, you got something to remind. When you thinking about black history, think about your brother, the white slave too. You know, they were sold, they were become personal property, and they also gamble away. They gamble them away too. You know what I'm saying? For gain, personal gain. Okay, so you got it, folks. It's Rony TV. Let me take a quick break because there's too much, you know, shenanigan. I didn't know it was white cargo, white slave. I'm gonna take a quick break and come back with more news. Stay tuned to Rony TV podcast. Thank you, people, to tune in to Rony TV podcast. I'm your host, Don 604. So, speaking of Black History Month, somebody black got canceled. The Joy Reid, American commentator and television host at MSNBC, she got canceled. I really do, you know, I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Joy. Now it's time to come back to YouTube. So you should create your own channel and create it read in instead of read out, read in. You read in, you read into it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So most likely, you know, I don't know why. Apparently, they mentioned she was progressive. She always talk about Trump, blah blah blah. She's you know, she got a political commentary program, the Red Out, like 2020 till 2025. So they cancel her. They cancel her show. But what's good with black people? I don't care your view. What's good with black people, small black people? Obviously, she's smart. She's on TV. So what's good? She's gonna bounce back. I know she's gonna bounce back. So we're gonna tell her shout out to you, Miss Joy Reid. Bounce back and show the world you have your mark. You have your your say. So what it is, that's what it is. So and also she win the NAACP Image Award for her work. You know, she already win that. So this is something to recognize. You know, uh, all the news and all the news. Uh, and 80, yeah, my TPS holder. I'm so sorry to hear that. My TPS holder. Uh, According to the latest news on immigration, so Trump uh, cancel TPS uh, holder. So what's that mean? What that mean? So most likely it's an impact, you know. So they have consequence. Uh, so let's put around thousand of people of Asian descent, uh, you know, in turmoil at risk of deportation. Despite ongoing unsafe condition in Haiti, you already know that gangs taking control of Port-au-Prince. Wow. Sakpase, my Asian people, I know you're going to fight back. You're the first republic to be free, the first black to be free. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be the free country to be free. Well, you know who take control, who wrote the story, who have the bigger bombs, you know. Yeah, they say Trump canceled the TPS. So the TPS was, you know, canceled for them. It's really sad. But I'm going to take a quick break and come back with some other news. Stay tuned to Rony TV podcast. Thank you, people, to tune in to Rony TV podcast. I'm your host, Don 604. So yes, like I said, the Trump administration will cancel the TPS for Asia. So it's not going to roll up. So don't forget, the first U.S. presidential TPS station, it was the following the devastating 2010 earthquake and the extended it multiple times due to ongoing instability in the country. as of today, it's still unstable. So yeah, so in June 2024, Biden extends the TPS duration until February 2026. So on February 2025, the current decision announced the revocation of the extension, setting it to August 3rd, 2025 as the end of the day for Asian TPS protection. By July 2024, this is an estimate of half a million of Asians are eligible for TPS in the U.S. For TPS status in the U.S. So the TPS also, it's a humanitarian program that grants national of certain countries temporary permission to live and work in the U.S. if their own country is experiencing ongoing armed conflict, environmental disaster, extraordinary and temporary condition. So yeah, you see that. You see that. So the earthquake and political instability, natural disaster, and economic hardship. It's not voting. It's So 2020 or 2011, we had at least 60,000. 2021, they had maybe 200,000. 2024 had half a million people. So yeah, it's popular and it's also helping people. The reason. So they said the Homeland Security Secretary Christy Noem state that previous administration attempt to tie the ends of the Trump administration by extending protection through 2026. The new administration studies that TPS should remain a short-term solution rather than indefinite immigration benefit. So they saying a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security released the following statement regarding the decision. Biden and Mayor Cash attempted to tie the end of the Trump administration by extended 80 temporary permanent status by 18 months, far longer than justified or necessary. We are returning integrity to the TPS system, which has been abused and exploited for decades. President Trump and Secretary Noem are ensuring TPS remains was always meant to be temporary. These guys, man, it's I just want to say the oh, I have to say white people. I'm sure it's not a bad guy who's going to revoke PPS. These white people, they were coming from the boat, the Mayflower boat, so they had trying to get out from hardship. Now they come back pretending they forgot where they're coming from. You know, they should go back where they're from. Everybody should go back where they're from. You know what I'm saying? And also the partner of TPS rollback under the Trump administration, they cut off other protect groups. I see Salvador not, but they cut Venezuelans. In January, they revoked TPS protections for at least more than half a million Venezuelans. Uh, so it's around 250,000 Venezuelans whose TPS will expire in 2025. So a lawsuit has already been filed to challenge this decision. The international issue for other groups, 1 million people in total rely on TPS because of their nationality. So the Biden administration previously extended TPS for Ukraine, Sudanese, Salvadorian. So it's remain unclear when we revoke protection for these groups. So yeah, we see. So hopefully people, uh, there's always gonna be after the rain, there's always gonna be a sun. Don't listen to those people. One day they're gonna know what they did. One day they will. face the consequence. So they will face that. I don't care if you're president. I don't care if you secretary. I don't care if you're a mini president. So you face the consequence. So if you don't have no value, you don't understand the human nature, hardship, you're gonna get the bad track. I'm not just trying to let the voting please, but some people are praying for your downfall. You guys who's trying to put people in hardship. That being said, we're going to take a quick break and come back again. Rony TV production is the recap news, the pop-up news. Thank you, people, for tuning in to Rony TV podcast. I'm your host, Don 604. Yes, it's a recap of the news. Thank you again for those of you who listen to me and to your smartphone, your smart TV. Hey, I'm the real McCoy. So let's get into it right now. It's almost the end of Black history, but I will say also it's almost the end of white slavery. White history too, because we're always saying Black history to focus on the enslavement of Black people. There were white people were being enslaved too. There was white slavery. you know. So I was digging and did some research. So they say the phrase white slavery was used by Charles Sumner, Sumner in 1847. So that guy was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who represent Massachusetts. So yeah, so that's why you said he was also he wanted to abolish slavery too. So most likely, yes, there were white slaves. So the white slave trade also there's known. They're saying there was like Viking was also enslaving white people too, and they were also saying the how you call that again? The Arabic people they were enslaving whites. They call it sakariba. So it's you know they all slave European and slave into Muslim nation like Spain and and also those who were abducted from the raid of Christian kingdom or Spain. They said the French stopped buying slaves from the slaves, and while Muslims also came across slaves in the form of missionaries, and the Byzantine Empire. So yeah, there were white slaves. So and also the Muslims were buying white people too. And I have there was a book also. This white cargo. So they say in the 7th and 8th century, more than 300 white people were shipped to America as a slave. So this urchin were swooped up from London Street to labor the tobacco field. And they said the life expectancy were no more than 2 years. So they said they raided the whorehouse, the brothel, so to breed for breeder for Virginia. Well, I don't know. Virginia was you know uh, broad-tail people, but I'm saying they're good people, I guess. But hey, who will taught that, you gotta read. It was white slaves, so now I want to have a white day, you know, White History Day, and then a Black History Day also to remind them they were slaves, white slaves. So they're saying. Thank you to tune in to Rony TV podcast. I'm your host, Don 604. So we back. And Black History Month is almost gone, but don't forget the white slavery was there in the mid 19th century. That's what it is. The term white slavery was used to describe Christian slaves. And also they're saying in the book, the white cargo. So they said that at least there were slaves. There were at least thousands of slaves in colonial America. Remember that when there's black history, there's white slave too. You know what I'm saying? It's not about to trying to be funny, but I'm trying to research and let you know what's going on because I was always thinking about that. Where they're always talking about black people, like oh they slave, they black. But, hey, anybody can become a slave. You know what I'm saying? Today, especially with your smartphone, you can become a slave. It's almost done. I got a few seconds to let to let you think about what I say. Think about the news. Think about you know better your life. Okay. So I have a quote. The quote of the day. It's simple. Do what you want people do for you. If you want people to be nice, be nice with people. I'm out, people. So thank you again to tune into Ronnie TV podcast. Hey, Padnet, shout out to Padnet TV. They're located in 117 Victoria, you know, Victoria Road. So please, they have a wonderful, how you call that again?